Welcome to another edition of Big Oo's Top 20 Countdown. This is a special edition. We are featuring our guest, Yesenia, and plus on top of that, we are world premiering my brand new album in in celebration of my birthday, which is 2 days away. So you guys, let's get into this special countdown. The number one song is actually a song called Good Music. You guys have heard this before. Let's get into it. Good Music by me on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the song J-O-Y. Got this kind of joy that makes me. You guys have made that again. I want to say thank you. We're talking to our guest, Yesenia. She's a poet. She's an activist. She is an entrepreneur. She's the head of of LA Poet Society. Oh, and we're so glad to have her. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on Big O's Top 20 Countdown. I'm a Chicana poet, and I'm the founder of Los Angeles Poet Society. I'm Jessica Wilson, born in East Los Angeles, raised in SoCal. And I'm an activist. I teach poetry in the community, organize open mics and lots of literary events with LA Poet Society, and love teaching youth how to write, unlocking their voice. I also have a program on radio, KROJ 101.5 FM. It's called Reading in Bed with Jessica, and that's every Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm a DJ and a mother of two and a lover of one.
All right now. All right now.
There we go.
You had to get that. You had to say that. That's right. That's right.
I'm not try to get it all in there.
I'm not bad at you. We're gonna start with, how did you get into poetry?
I started writing poetry at 12, and I remember when I was 11, a year earlier, my dad found a poetry contest for children and was like, "Hey, Jessica, try." And I'm like, "What? Poetry? What?" It was like, so I wasn't connected with it at all. And I thought it was like, I don't write that. A year later, in my middle school, some guest poets came to our school and had like an assembly with us and all that, and taught us how to write stream of consciousness style, which was in the vein of the beat generation poets, the beat poets, where you just put pen to paper, write whatever's on your mind, no filter. And that whole idea of having the blank page and no restrictions and just writing what you think really opened me up and gave me that permission to write. So I had been writing ever since, because I was on a stream of consciousness. I wrote something and I was like, oh my God, I was really impressed with myself, and it really enjoyed how freeing it was and releasing. And so I've been writing ever since then, and it's my passion. It's what I've always wanted to do. And I went on to college. I got my degree. I got a bachelor's in creative writing from UC Riverside, and then I went on to graduate school, and I actually have a master of fine arts in writing, and specifically poetry. I love poetry. But I went to Otis College of Art and Design in LA, and I got that MFA. Hey. Yeah, thank you. And it was after I was done with all the schooling. Here I am, poet in the world. I'm like, well, where are the poets at? Where do I share? Who? So then I couldn't find it, so I started LA Poet Society, and it was more like my flag being like, find me and everybody. We're gonna be a big network, and an inclusive network of literary arts. So we're about 14 years old, so we've been doing it for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my story.
Wow. So, how many books do you have out?
I have a few chapbooks, but I have one that's published. It's called Serious Longing. This is it was published by a press that is in France. So I'm international in that way. It's called Swan World Press, or in French, it's called Éditions du Cygne. They're celebrating, they're 20 years old, but my book was their first English imprint. So they hadn't been publishing English language books of poetry yet until they met me, and I got to be their first one way back in 2015. So I have lots of new material and lots of books that need to just be like need to be born into the world. But yeah, that's one of my babies there.
You know what? We're going to talk more to you. We got to get back into this countdown. The next song that we're going to play from the album is called "Coming at You Heavy," and it's actually to my to my godfather. So let's get into it. "Coming at You Heavy" on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. You guys, that was the awesome song "Triumph." God loves me. You guys made that a hit too. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We're talking to our guest, Jessica. And you say you
Hey.
also think you're an activist as well. How did you get into that?
Well, let's see. Well, I guess the shortest version of that story, my family, my dad included, a lot of them were in the service. They were in the military, and growing up, there was a lot of pride in that. And me becoming an adult, and came in adulthood in the 2000s, I'll say. uh, I would notice all the homeless folks right on the freeways and all that. I mean, we all see the people like they're a lot of them were vets, and so I became to I had more awareness for the veterans and the homelessness that they were facing, but also with my own personal family story. My grandfather served in World War II in Korea, and a lot of action. Oh my goodness! And he like where he was one of the only survivors, and in some instances. So he had major PTSD, and they didn't identify that at the time, but they would give. Basically, they over medicated my grandfather, and he was kind of not all in his mind, and basically, it was just really sad how the treatment of American veterans are, like they put so much at risk, including their own lives, and they choose to. And how are they treated when they return? So that was my seed of activism, to see how the vets were treated, and to see this homelessness and mental illness relationship connection to the traumas of vets, but also early activism. And I didn't even think about it as activism and until more recently. But as a young girl, like literally in middle school and in high school, I noticed a pattern between my young girlfriends and I. Like there was some type of violation that we had, whether it was a physical, verbal, an assault. And I was like, this is too much of a pattern. So I actually created a circle, like for my friends, and wrote poetry about like protecting us sisters. And so that's where it all began. And when I started to finally develop as a writer and be in the scene, and LA Poet Society was happening, I was exposed to a group called the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, and that
Okay.
was here in Los Angeles. And they also have a branch, I think, in San Francisco.
Oh,
But
okay.
basically, they're activist poets, and I would listen to them, and it just gave me more courage to speak up for things that mattered to me. And that's kind of where it all began. And I kept keep speaking and speaking and getting more confident, and more courageous, and
Yeah.
also helping others to use their voice and their courage to speak up on things that are important, and not just issues that are affecting me personally, but issues that are affecting my community, and you know the injustices, the systemic racism, all that, right? And I definitely, I'm super vocal about it. Um, and in 2020, I actually launched a small press, Los
Mhm.
Angeles Poet Society Press, where our focus is social justice. We use publishing as a means for our activism, right, for social justice,
Yeah.
and we also center cutie, queer, trans, Black, Indigenous, people of color, cutie, BIPOC voices. So a lot, that's who we publish. We want to amplify we want to amplify all our voices,
Mhm.
especially, queer, trans, Black, Indigenous, people of color. So I feel like that's a way that we can even be louder. Yeah, so that's something that's really important to me. I think being an honest person and standing up for truth has always been something important to me. So this is just another way I can do it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You know what? I want you to get a poem prepared because I'm going to break the monotony a little bit. I want you to, when we come back, I want to hear one of your poems.
Oh,
We
I
can
got it. I have one
all
just for you.
yeah. Well, let's get back in this countdown. The next song that we're gonna play is Welcome to My World, My Friend. Let's get into it. Welcome to My World, My Friend on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, y'all, that was oh man, that song was Vacation. That video is coming out probably July 4th. So you guys get ready for that. We're talking to our guest, Jessica. Are you ready?
I am ready. I am absolutely ready.
Let's get it started.
All right. This is a poem called Being Human, and I dedicate it to all the humans out there.
Yeah,
Being
okay.
human. Feeling desolate in this space where time meshes into the host of my debt, an uncertain slumber of right, a net of collection. Why does it always come down to money? To raise your hopes, your praises, to make you feel like a good human, a happy human. Justify me this feeling of incompleteness because I do not have enough paper to go around taking away all the hands I owe. Is my life less valuable because I cannot pay someone today? Is my life less valuable because I do not have enough green to pay? Am I deemed to tire tread and sidewalk skid because I came up short? Well, how short of human am I since I have no green to give? Since when did paper inject itself into our veins? The needles blended into the stream of blood, plasma, capillaries, dust. There is no green in my blood. I am not rich. I am not paper. I'm human.
I love it. Snap, 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 snap. I love
Hey,
it.
thank you,
That
brother. Thank you.
was awesome, man. I'm not gonna. I can't. I'm trying not to cuss, but that was awesome, man. That was really, really awesome.
Woo, woo, woo.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. That is, whew. I don't know what else to say. What to
Oh,
say
thank
about
you.
that? That's
I wanted
that's
to let you know my partner is here and ready to rock and roll too. Juan Flautista just got in here.
okay. Sup, man? How you doing?
Hi, how's it going? Thank you so
I'm
much
good.
for
We're
inviting
gonna
me
rock
again.
out with you. We're gonna rock out with you a little bit later.
Okay.
We're gonna rock out. So, what's going on with you? Tell
Well, right
tell my
now,
listeners about yourself.
well, my name is Juan Cardenas. I go by Juan Flautista when I'm with my band. And well, yes, I'm a flute player and I play Latin jazz and Latin rock. But I'm also a writer, a poet. I was also published by Swan World Press, the same press that published Jessica over in Paris, France. So I'm very honored for that. And well, you know that my book was published in 2020, and it was right when the pandemic hit, so I wasn't really able to do much during obviously those times. I don't think anyone was, but it's I was able to get an honorable mention for from the International Latino Books Awards. I got an honorable mention from Juan Felipe Herrera. So that was very exciting to have been recognized, you know, at that international national level, right? And so right now I'm very active with my music, and I'm playing pretty much all around LA with my band Juan Flautista, and it's musical. I see poetry and music very, you know, they are very much alike, and the way that your words could be like music, and sometimes music could be, you know, poetry, you know.
That's awesome. What's the name of your book?
My book is The Beat of an Immigrant Chicano.
Uh
um
oh. Go ahead.
yes, and I have it, give me 1 second, let me grab it.
Oh yeah, here, right here, right here.
So here it is. There, she got your back. She got your back. That's awesome. Awesome. You got his
We
back.
support each
Yeah.
other.
So this is it right here. It's called The Beat of an Immigrant Chicano, and I'm sorry that light glare is
No, it's all right. It's all right.
in there. And yes, and so is it okay if I read one piece from my book?
We're gonna read it when we come back.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
We'll read it
Absolutely.
when we come back.
Yeah.
We're gonna be back into this countdown. The next song that we're gonna play is called Mama, You Know I Love You. Let's get into it. Mama, You Know I Love You on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. Yeah, y'all, that was the Mama You Know I Love You song. You guys have been supporting this album. I want to say thank you. But it's time to get into you. You ready to Juan, you ready to say one of your poems?
Yeah, of course. I love to. So the poem, one of the poems I have featured in here is called "Change is Inevitable."
Okay.
Message to everyone and everywhere, archangels, elemental, and pawns, souls of distant realms, into the breathing machinery Congress pumps as tears and bearable language, change is inevitable. Mystical voice romanticizing the unobtainable, hypnotism of sensationalism, armies of incomprehensible prisons with sexless guards and soulless Jehovahs, pulling narcissist triggers, dying happily speechless. Change is inevitable. Capitalist cannibals kissing and hugging flags in ritual for generation with a godless religious momentum. Change is inevitable. Proud police duty, inflicting gear, parading fear, tyrant racist pride, drowning your despair in your community. Change is inevitable. Corporate colossal drunks compulsively toasting to their groaning stomachs of their minimum wage employees' children. Change is inevitable. Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, Jesus, Buddha, Ometeo, Mother Earth, Self, brothers and sisters, universe. Change is inevitable. Change is inevitable as you are to me and to life, the way we are born out of action, which takes place today, and miracles, which our words cause.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. And Jessica, you said you also work with children. Am I correct?
Yes, actually, we both do too. But yes, I'm a poetry teacher.
Oh wow. How did you get into that?
In 2012, I joined an organization called California Poets in the Schools, and it's here in the state of California. It's the oldest nonprofit. I believe it's 54 years old. That is just dedicated to teaching poetry to youth in a K through 12 environment in schools. But also, what I love about it is that we can be mobilized to be in libraries, community spaces, centers, and anything of that nature. And so I've been teaching with them since 2012. I'm actually the area coordinator. Basically, I'm in charge of LA County and kind of San Bernardino County. I've been a part of it for a while. And I gotta say, name drop, boom.
Go ahead, do it.
Amanda Gorman was my student for 2 years.
Wow, that
I
is
was one of her teachers. So in 2012 and 2013, I had her when she was 13, 14 years old.
wow. She's doing big things. So
I know, so proud of her as one of
that
my
is
babies.
that is
Um,
really awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so proud. And she is an activist, poet, and she also writes like fantasy and she back then she would also write short stories and things like that. But she was always what you see now is genuine, authentic. She's very driven, passionate. She cares about people. I remember when she was about 16, she started one pen one page, and that was so that every youth could have a notebook and pen to write their story, and yeah, I mean, she's done so much. Yeah, I mean, you've seen what she's poet laureate. She was the first youth poet laureate for LA County, or for Los Angeles, in 2015, and then I believe it was I think 2018ish. She became the first youth poet laureate of the United States, and then now she was the inaugural poet for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's inauguration.
I
So
remember that.
yeah.
Wow. That is so cool. You're a teacher of greatness. That is so awesome. That
Just a
is
little part of her story, but yeah, you definitely. I worked with her. We would meet every. It was a program called Beyond the Bell, and
okay.
we got some grant support for it. And we met every Saturday morning, and it was for teens. So she was part of that. And yeah, it was great.
And that's when I started also teaching,
Oh, for real?
and
You
that
started teaching with her.
yes, I was one of my first times that I was just watching a poetry teacher in action was with Amanda Gorman as one of the students, and so I have to say that was a real blessing because I got to see two genuine aspects, very genuine, beautiful poetry teacher who's given it all and was passionate about teaching, and a poet who was passionate about learning. So it was quite a lesson for me to learn in there.
That's so awesome.
Oh,
I'm gonna
that
cry.
is so cool. You guys want to talk more to you all. And Juan, I want to hear some of your music. Do you have something ready? You want to play something live?
Yeah, I do. Flute is so small. I was putting it together while we were talking. I don't even know if you even noticed. But yeah, so I love Santana and I
We're
love
gonna do
Latin.
it, we're gonna do it when we come back.
Okay, yes.
Let's get back into this little special countdown. The eighth song is called "Fine and You Know It." Let's get into it. "Fine and You Know It" on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. You guys, we did a 3 in a row for you. We did "Fine and You Know It," "Love Him," and "Sweet as Pound Cake." Now it's time to get into the comedy corner with one of my birthday mates. His name is Clemen Sankocha. Let's get into it. Today he actually turns, actually in a couple days on our birthday, he will be 38. Let's get into it. The comedy of Clemen on Big Old Stuff 20 Countdown. Yeah, you go. That was Clemen, my birthday mate. Happy birthday, bro. Juan, it's time for you to go for what you know. Ready? You ready?
Yes, yes, yes.
Get it. Get it. Let's hear it. Come on. Come on, you. Okay. Is he playing? Okay, we got it.
Were you able to hear it?
I heard a little bit of it.
Do you want me to? Can I start from the beginning again? I think I just have to get closer to the microphone. I think that's
Okay, that's good. You can do it.
all right. So this melody comes with a poem that I have in my book, The Beat of an American Chicano, and it's
Okay.
called Beggar. And it's a poem and a song dedicated to the homeless community in LA. So here it is. Please forgive me, beggar, if the change in my pockets don't shine close to gold. And excuse me, beggar, if my tongue bleeds as it speaks, dripping with hypocrisy. I am in no place to speak. Please forgive me, beggar, and forgive me, Mother Earth, if the change in my soul does not shine close to gold. And pardon me, Mother Earth, when an angel turns to ghost and I've been so close, couldn't do a single thing. When you love so much it hurts, and the brilliance of their joys a brighter, better shade of gold, let what surrounds you unfold into sweet life. Thank you.
Wow, I love it. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. I love it.
Thank
And
you
you
so
guys,
much.
I got a question. Are you guys together or are you guys just best friends?
Both.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, we're both, Jessica and I, we met at an open mic actually, and we're partners. We're partners, and lifers. She's and but also we're partners in Los Angeles Poet Society. Um, yeah, we are, and we're best buddies too. We do everything together.
Oh, that is awesome. Wow. That is so cool. You guys met at an open mic? Wow.
Yeah, it was actually a Los Angeles Poet Society open mic that happened over on May 5th, uh, 2013
Yeah.
at 7 p.m.
Right.
You remember the time too.
Oh,
Wow.
May 1st. Did
Yeah.
you say
Yeah, May
The
1st.
day
May
and the
1st?
time.
May Day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
May
day.
Day.
And it was changed. It was a day that changed my life and her life as well, like for forever. Right now, 13 years of Los Angeles Poet Society,
Almost
and
14. Well, 14 in November. This is our 14th.
and 2 kids after,
Wow.
and so it's been quite a beautiful journey. And right now, as now speaking as a proud parent, right?
Oh, that is so cool. How
It's
is it being like working together and also being partners? How is that?
okay.
No, go ahead.
I'm seeing she's letting me talk on this. Okay, well, yeah, it's definitely challenging. There has to be a sense of balance, and there has to be a willing to have that balance and incorporate that balance to each other, because each of us want to see each other shine, and we have to allow each other that time, and we have to read the room. Like if I see that she's not having a good day, you know what I mean, then I'll take over some things, and vice versa. So
Mm.
there's this beautiful communication, but also nothing's perfect as well, right? So we will have also our clashing times, but
I was
at the
about
end
to say,
at the end of the day, we, like I said, we want to make sure that each other shines. Like I want to make sure that she is all the poet Jessica that she could possibly be, even if I'm not around, especially if I'm not around. Like that's the person that I fell in love with. So I want to, bring up that person for that
Oh,
person to be healthier.
right.
that is so awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love it. No, I was gonna say we're very supportive of each other's art forms, and like I love to watch him shine and doing his playing music. I love being there at his shows, and as a poet, and amplifying his poetry and helping promote his book too. And it's just very supportive, and it feels great. Like a lot of times, how you always I don't know if you can connect with this, but back in the day, when you're single, you always like to have your bestie or a road dog with you, and you get more courage to do what you love to do, or go talk to who you want to. So it's like really good having someone by your side that accepts your authentic self. That's very, like, what a blessing,
Yes.
that alone. And then being able to even thrive more in your art or your creativity and being who you are, it's pretty awesome. And we usually, I guess it's me, I usually keep the connection between he and I kind of like under wraps, unless there is a direct like question like this, and
Okay.
so that we just have our own, our own moment or our own time to be seen as the artist, and not the couple.
I can understand that. But when we come back, I want to hear another poem from you, Jessica. But let's get back into this countdown. The next song that we're going to play is called Fun Freak. Let's get into it. Fun Freak on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the song. Dang, good God Almighty, you're such a real thing. You're such a real. How do you guys have made that a big hit? I was surprised how big that was. But I want to say thank you for making a big hit. But you guys, let's get into another extra song. The second extra song that we're gonna play is called Havana Tango Dancer. Let's get into it. Havana Tango Dancer on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was Havana Tango Dancer. But Jessica, are you ready?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay, just
I'm
get it.
I'm, I'm gonna share a newer piece, a new poem. Um, all right. Well, here we go. I'm real excited that I got to perform recently at a museum. It's called The Broad here in Los Angeles, and I got to share poetry on the topic of um, I guess colonialism and the apartheid that was happening in Africa and everything, and but
Mhm.
coming from a lens of activism, speaking on, yeah. So I'm going to share a poem in that vein, and um, all right, this is called "Running Somaliland." Land ho! Sticking your arch nose over the border into a boundary you have no roots in. Made to think the land came to you with purpose or intention to become used, pried open, eaten up, laid out like a virgin, trusting, shy, without fight or means to defend what is hers by right, by life. Your nose is running all over your horse, hurrying its boogers into the land, cultivating filth and plucking out all seeds that existed before. It's a new world, you utter, as your golden hair reflects sunlight, the same light planked over your shield, your sword, which is unsheathed. You call yourself explorer, liberator, someone with a reckoning for God. Impulsive liar, your saliva brings acid, burrows the land like Swiss cheese. Grass empty of nutrients, rotten seed brings forth lies. No salvation in the ripping apart of the tide. The lands of Tonantzin have only footprints, no borders, no telling you to stay away from my thighs. There's no telling you to leave the names of my brothers off your mind. Forget the sounds you stamp out their mouths. No telling you that the land is right where it chooses. It is not yours to till, not yours to steal. You framed me and left me in 1,000 pieces. No meat left on the bone for my child to nibble. No act to tend our wounds and unstitch to damage the damage from your divide. The bribery we plea, our wills you tested. You raped us, unsettled always, yet you settled. Clean us out of our own blood. Veins map what was left of our body, looking for new sustenance for you to reap. And thank you. Yeah, and I dedicate that okay, this was based off of an exhibit by William Kentridge, who was a South African artist, and the whole exhibit was only in charcoal, black and white. And it was
Okay.
all about the apartheid and how they ripped apart all the colonialism ripped apart Africa,
Mhm.
especially in the area that I really connected with was Somalia, and
Mhm.
Somalia, and I call that Somaliland because there was French Somaliland, Italian, UK, like all these countries that ripped apart and left just a little of actual Africa, Somalia, where the people have no resources and were in peril. And I
Mhm.
feel like that story is so common of colonialism. Here, what happened in the United States to our indigenous, in Mexico, Aslan, the indigenous, and all, our African brothers and sisters that were brought here, and all this taking and taking and taking.
Yeah.
So I was really, and in the art piece, it literally
Mhm.
is just that segment, a map of Somaliland,
Mhm.
and like all the different, like it looked like Frankenstein's monster, just patches of like everybody's hands that have the land. Yeah, and I was like, no wonder there's no resources left for the people that actually are from that land. And it's heartbreaking and it makes me angry.
It really is
you know
heartbreaking.
yeah, and it's just it's so common, that story and that struggle. They keep it's just an after effect of someone's conquering or exploring, or they think they're saving us for God or whatever the story is, for
Yeah,
them to impose themselves on others, and it's a tragedy.
it really is. It really is. It definitely is. But you guys are going to talk more to our guest. Uh, but let's get back in this countdown. The next song that we're going to play is called Arrogance. Let's get into it. Arrogance on Big Old Stop 20 Countdown. You guys, we did 3 in a row for you. We did Arrogant. We did Feel So Good to Be Alive, which comes out in 2 days. I'm excited about that. We also did Divorce. Oh, gee, what a song to play with a couple on. But you guys, let's get into the next song, which is an independent song. This song is called Pleasure. Let's get into it. Pleasure on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that song was called Pleasure. We're talking to our guest, Jessica and Juan. You guys, I gotta ask a question. What's next for you guys?
Well, for Juan, Cardenas and Juan Flautista, two entities, right? For the band, I'm right now working on a lot of original music. I'm really excited about this year. I'm looking forward to releasing some of my new material, live. So I'm really excited. In terms of the writer, I'm also working on my second book.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm looking forward to possibly releasing something, releasing another book this year. So, one of the most exciting parts of my life right now is being a dad. It's just spending time with my kids right now. I have two kiddos, and they're just starting school. So I keep hearing that these moments that only pass by once. So I want to make sure that I'm grasping and I'm being there. I'm being there for them. As a dad. So that's another aspect of my life that that's another thing that Juan is really enjoying in terms. I know it's not artistic but
That's
it's
all right.
a huge part of what makes me right now, as a whole.
I
It's
love
all
that.
right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For me, well, I have LA Poet Society, so I've been ramping up LA Poet Society, and we have more support and by support money, people
Okay.
investing in us. So we have grants, So programming, like I'm just like all about blowing up LA Poet Society. We, like I said, we were born in November, so this is
Oh,
November. It's officially 14, but so I'm like we're 14, 13 on the cusp of 14. There we go. But yeah, just being a more service. We do a lot already. We have workshops, open mics in person on Zoom, poetry workshops in person on Zoom, festivals, all kinds of fun things, and to offer the people. And yeah, and we just want to keep doing more of that. And we want to we have a small press, so we want to publish more books, and just really work on our org and being there for folks. And then as far as me, Jessica, the poet, yeah, I'm due out for a book this year. So I already talked to my publisher, and so they'll publish a new book for me this year. I don't have any dates or anything like that, but definitely a new baby is gonna be coming through.
Whenever you guys get ready, you can come back and spit all the poetry.
Yeah, absolutely. We love that. Yeah, and just keep, teaching poetry. I mean, for me, it's just about vocal empowerment. Let people know, I know it's always weird. I don't know why, it's like we always need permission from somebody else to say, you know what, you have a voice, use your voice. You got a voice, write it, or you have ideas, write them down. It's okay. What you think matters, what you have to say matters. Your truth is important. So that's what it's all about for me, really, just unlocking folks and of all ages, because I also teach in the community, adults, everybody. And yeah, that's I enjoy that. I really do. And of course I love to travel. If you want a poet to go fly over where you at, anybody hit me up. I am so down for poetry workshops, appearances, readings.
All right,
I love it all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys want to talk more to our guests, because I got another question for y'all, but we're gonna save that for and when we come back. We got the next song that we're gonna play is actually, we're getting to the deluxe edition now. This is actually the first song from it. This song is called Free Happy Vibe. Let's get into it. Free Happy Vibe on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, we did a song. The video came out May 5th, and you guys have been so fantastic with it. There's too many balls in LA. I had to say that real fast so y'all didn't know what I'm saying. But now it's time to get into the old school gem of the week. The old school gem of the week is by a really my birthday mate, my other birthday mate. We're 30 years apart. I got to meet her. She's a really good friend of us. This is Deniece Williams. This song is called Let's Hear It for the Boy. Let's get into it. Let's Hear It for the Boy by my birthday mate, Deniece Williams on Big Old Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, that was the old school gem of the week. We're talking to Jessica and Juan. You guys. Oh, before we go any further, I got to tell you guys how I met these people. How I met Jessica. I haven't met you in person yet, Juan. Actually, LA Poet Society. I guess I hooked up with you guys. It's been like 5 or 6 months, and and I remember I came in person one time to your anniversary. I think it was your anniversary when it was in
Oh, in Culver City.
not the Culver City one. It was in the 13th anniversary. You guys had the Midnight Bookstore. Remember?
Whittier, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, and I got to meet Caesar over there and everybody. I was like, wow. I said, you know what? I would want to get in person a lot more, but my work schedule, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna try to get more into it with you guys. And I got to meet your fantastic kids too.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were handing out stickers and pencils and all that good stuff for the writing workshop, the prompts and all. Oh, yeah, that was great.
That was really, really good. I was like, wow. I said, this is a really, because, be honest with you, before I hooked up with you guys, I was involved in a poetry thing, like online Zoom. They were on the East Coast. I was like, is there a place that has poetry? Do we have a local poetry society in LA? And so I looked online, and lo and behold, you guys were the first one that popped up.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, I said, finally, I have a home.
I love it. Yes, you do. You have a home. Absolutely. And we'll be there back at Midnight Books this month too. That's an open mic every last Saturday of the month. And this month, the 29th, happens to be Independent Bookstore Day within National Poetry Month and National Jazz Month and Earth Month and all. So we're going to be celebrating being at an independent bookstores, what they're all about, because they're so wonderful at Midnight Books and all the services they offer the community. And then we get to celebrate our books that we publish and all of our, the writers that come through. And I hope you come through as well. And we'll be waiting for you at the mic.
Most definitely.
6 p.m. Pacific.
You don't want me to spit. I have a whole room crying.
Let's go. No, man. We gotta hear it.
Must be good.
You guys, what is one thing that you guys haven't done that you would really love to do?
Ooh, okay. That one is the easy one for me. I want to do some acting, like just plays, play. I would love to do that. Just that sounds like fun, to be kind of someone else for a little bit, having fun playing someone else. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say that, but well, the other thing that I would definitely want to do is I would love to put up a Los Angeles Poet Society album of poetry and music with different poets.
Wow.
That would be very interested. I think there's a lot of poets. There's very interesting poets here in LA. I mean, and all over the world, not just particularly here, but definitely a lot of people that I would love to collaborate with in terms of that. Because I love the collaboration between music and poetry. Just that relationship. It's not the same as like a lyric and poet and music, say like in a song. There's I think a little more intimate relationship in that, and it's also a lot more freer. The times that I've had experience playing with a poet, you have to be very aware of the climaxes of the poem and know where to back up, know what to flare up, and musically. So it's really exciting, and I have a blast doing it. So I would love to do that again.
And I was gonna usually at this time I usually get in people's personal business, but you already showed me your personal business, so I'm gonna skip over that. Let's get into you guys have 1 minute to say something inspirational.
Be true to yourself, y'all. Listen to your intuition, because that's your God voice, or God is always talking to you. So being true to yourself, listening to yourself.
What about you, Juan?
Yes, listen to your heart, and know that the journey always gets hard at the beginning, but just keep on going. You got this.
That is awesome, you guys. Wow. But you guys, we're gonna talk more to you guys, but let's get back into this countdown. The next song is called Love Me. Let's get into it. Love Me on Big Old's Top 20 Countdown. Yeah, you guys, we did the three in a row for you. We did Love Me, we did Teddy Bear, and we also did Vote, Use Your Voice. This time I'm getting one into the second to the last final song. And this is a remix of J.O.Y. Let's get into it. J.O.Y., the legend, the Legion Beach remix on Big Old Stuff 20 Countdown. You guys, that was J.O.Y., the Legion Beach remix. We're talking to our guests, Juan and Jessica. How can people reach you?
For Jessica, you can go to jessicamwilson.com. You can also find me on Instagram. I am Europa Wind. And also Los Angeles Poet Society. If you Google up Los Angeles Poet Society, you'll find our website, lapoetsociety.org. Also, we're on all the socials, except we did go away from Twitter, actually. But we're on Instagram. We have our YouTube, Los Angeles Poet Society. And that's a way you can connect with me too, because I do the social media.
What about you? How can people get in touch with you?
You can also get in touch with me through Los Angeles Poet Society .org, but also I have a website. It's juanflautista.com. So it's Juan Flautista, FLAUTISTA Flautista.com, and also have an Instagram as Juan Flautista. You can reach me in there, and yeah, say hi to me and chat.
That's awesome. I want to say thank you to our guests, Jessica and Juan. You guys have been fantastic. I want to say thank you to all the listeners who've been listening to me for the past 7 seasons. I think this is our 271st show.
What? 271? Hey.
271.
It
Yeah,
goes top 20. Woo!
Yeah, we're almost done with the season, though. You guys, I want to say, and also want to say thank you to all the stations that are carrying us: Spotify, the Block FM, Vibe Hits Radio, and also we recently reunited with the people that we started with, which is Kill Radio. I want to say thank you to them.
Woo,
And,
I love the video.
yeah, and if you all want to reach me, you can reach me at www.linktree.com/OLUSHEYI.banjo. You can also listen to this show and other past shows on there and get my poetry and everything else. And the thought for the week is keep going higher and you will never drop. And the last song we're going to play is called the Divorce Remix. Let's get into it. Divorce Remix. On Big Old Stuff 20 Countdown. May God bless you. May God keep you until we meet again. And that is it. Let me stop the recording.